Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Father's Note, where we promote fatherhood through building men. As always, we're so happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule just to spend this moment with us. Again, hey, we're back. We're back with another great interview, someone whom I guess I've known all this life, of course. But this is going to be our first time that we really sat down and have a conversation. I'm going to talk more about him just in a few. Just give me a little minute here. But I want to do this. I have to do this because I want you all to help me. Listen, I wrote this book, right? Entitled "Learning a Man Within." You see myself, and this is kind of like a story of myself, my own life experiences that I have been able to gather and learn from throughout my life. Now, somebody will say, well, why would I want to read about your life? I got my own struggles, whatever. Well, the thing of it is, the reason that I penned this is that there's some lessons in here that I'm sure that it kind of, I guess you could say it crossed the board, right? You might be able to get some wisdom because this what this book is contained. It has a lot of wisdom, right? Whether or not you're dealing with girlfriends, dealing with sex, dealing with marriage, or just dealing with coming into knowing God, who God is. I got everything in this book, right? So if you don't mind and you want to purchase this book, even if it's not for yourself, but someone whom you love, or your husband, a brother, cousin, whoever, go to my website, A Father's Note, afathersnote.com, right? And you can purchase the book there. We also have some t-shirts. Also, I should have had one here to show you. It says that fathers are essential. You can purchase them there as well. But hey, let's get into this interview. So let me give you a little background on my guest, right? His name is Keani James Robinson. Now, all the years I've known, I never know that his middle name was James. The same as my middle son, James. Yes. Hey, hello, everybody. I see y'all tapping in. Yes. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all showing. He's 25 years old, and he is the son of Keith and Christina Robinson. Of course, those of you who may know him, you know that his father had transitioned over a year ago, and that's why we're here. We're going to be talking about that. He has two siblings, Josh and Kiana. His occupation, he works at Publix in the deli department. His hobbies is working out. He's a fit young man, and he loves reading. His favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Hey, we all can quote that one. This was interesting. He said that his favorite movie, one of his favorite movies, was Rush Hour. I'm curious to find out why Rush Hour, but that's another time. And his future goal overall is to become, as he said, his own boss, right? And I guess he wants to get into management. So we're just going to pray and hope that that is definitely a desire that comes true for him. And so, but anyway, without any further ado, I want to introduce the one and the only Keani James Robinson, my nephew. What's up, young man?
How you doing?
All right, all right. This young man is the son of my baby sister, my youngest sister, Miss Christina. Man, it's a pleasure, man, for you to join us here. I certainly appreciate it.
Yes,
And I know that we kind of on a time frame here, so let's get this. And I want to say hello to all of you who are watching. I see my sister's on; she's watching. Whether or not you're watching by Facebook or YouTube, we certainly appreciate you. I see my baby sister's on, my wife, my son-in-law, all of you family. Thank you all so much. Yes, tag someone, let them know that hey, we're going to be talking about life after dad on this broadcast. And I think that is something that is very important because I had an experience. We're going to get into that. And but this, without any further ado, let's get it. So this is what I want to ask you. My first question is to you is this. My most memorable moment with my father was when he brought home my very first bass guitar, right? And I'm sure that many of you, if you watch this, you'll know you're a regular to this show. You've heard me have that conversation about that experience when I saw my father come home with his bass guitar. And at the time I was 9 years old. So I would like to know, what was your most memorable moment with your father, and how old were you that you remember that?
I would say it was this one particular time, because every now and then people like, Papa, come with me, let's go out for a drive or whatever. And we went out for a drive, and he played. My dad, he was old, so but he played one of these Michael Jackson songs.
What?
Yes, he loved Michael Jackson.
Okay, all right.
He played one of the Michael Jackson songs, but that was just a very memorable moment for me, because we just got time to spend.
Wow,
with
wow,
each other.
wow. So you're memorable. How old were you? How old were you?
I would say about like 11.
11 years old.
One of those.
Yeah. And you were surprised that your pops was playing Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember the song?
I think it was tell me that you've been into way.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Song.
Right. Oh, that's cool, man. So you remember a song by Michael Jackson that you spent, and as you pointed out, it allowed you to spend time with him.
Yes.
So I think that I'm almost say that your father. Now let me ask this first, before I ask this question, make this statement rather. So are you into Michael Jackson? Did you like Michael Jackson?
Man, I used to love Michael Jackson.
Okay.
You'll catch me around the house doing the same movements and little dances that you do.
Right.
I love Michael
At 11 years old, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think what Pops did, what your father did, he had a strategy. He used a word of wisdom. You know what? My son is Michael Jackson. Let me take him for a ride. And let me just play this Michael Jackson tune right here, because it might have been the one you like to listen to all the time. Yeah. And let me just create this atmosphere right here, so we can have this conversation, spend some time to really get to know my son, man. That was really dope. That was really dope, man. Yeah. Okay. So my next question is, so now that put a picture of his father, so the audience will know who his father is. Yep. There you go. Now, you can take that down. Thanks. Now, check this out. Now, whether you realize it or not, and I don't know if anybody watching have ever paid attention to my platform, right?
Yes, sir.
So, at your father's homegoing service,
yes,
I happened to come across, someone gave me one of the buttons.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh wow. Yes, sir.
And you know where that button is at?
Where?
Right here.
Oh wow. And then I didn't even notice that.
Yep. This is where the button is at.
Wow, y'all.
Yep. Let me see. Get this right. Yep.
Look at that.
So y'all can see that. Yep. So not only has my father been watching over this podcast, but so have your father, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get into the next question. So now you might well go ahead on. No, hold on before you put that next slide up. Right. So now there was one thing your father and my father definitely had in common, and that is a love for God.
No doubt about it.
And that love for God meant always in church. Put the picture up. Always in church, right?
Look at that.
And so when my dad went to church, the whole house went to church, right? Including the dog.
Including everybody. Ain't nobody staying home.
Nobody staying home.
Everybody gotta go.
So what was that like with you and your father in church, growing up with your father in church, man? What was it like?
All I know is if you ain't got your butt in church, I'm gonna deal with you. I'm gonna deal with you when you get home.
Oh,
yes. Come on, my dad, he did not play that. You get what I'm saying? He was very strict about God. So if anybody, he said everybody, my whole house gonna serve God.
Everybody with her.
I don't care how you feel, you gonna serve God.
Even if you were sick, no homework. I got homework.
No excuses.
No excuses, huh?
No
You
excuses.
going to church, huh?
You going to
hey,
church.
Guess what? My dad was the same way, man. My dad was the same way. No question about it, man. He ain't play, bro. He did not play. You're right. He'll deal with you. Or he'll deal with you on the way to church.
I'm trying to tell you. And then all my daddy got to do is just give you that look. And you're going to straighten right up. You're going to straighten right up.
Sounds so familiar. So let me ask you this. So growing up as an adolescent, love was shown, as far as my father.
Yes.
But he never expressed it. That how I'm going to say how I would have wanted him to express it. When it came to expressing love, how was your dad? How was it when it came to him expressing love to you?
Man, I'll never forget. I could be having the most horrible day. I could have a bad day. And he'll come in because, he like to watch his TV and stuff like that. And he'll be sitting on the couch. And as soon as I come in, I just be like, I know my daddy gonna sit and be like, Papa, come on, let me talk to you. We're gonna have us to talk. But as soon as you come inside the house, all you see is a big smile on his face.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what. And then you can never tell when if something affect my dad because he was so full of love.
Right.
But with love, he always showed that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. He was just a man of love.
Man, that's great, man. So you never at any time felt that he did not or believed that he did not love you. Nobody could not tell you that he did not love you.
I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. Everybody nobody's perfect. You get what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure him, like everybody else, had their moments.
Right.
But even in the hard moments, he still showed that love because and honestly, that's who he was.
So how was it then when it came down to discipline? Because I know he disciplined, right?
All right. So with him, he would discipline you, and then because his heart is he got a soft heart, he can't stay mad at you for long. He gonna discipline you and be like, Papa, you had to do this. I had to discipline you, Papa, because you gonna reap the benefits, this and that. But he showed love after discipline. You get what I'm saying? So then it lets me know that, all right, even though I discipline you, I discipline you because I love you.
So he was balanced with it, basically, you would say, as a father.
But very strict with his discipline. So if he discipline you, you're going to learn. But then after, you're going to feel the love. I think, like, you know what? All right, this wasn't because he was mad, it was because he loved me.
Okay. Yeah, your mom said that he always showed love. He sensed the presence of everyone that walked in the home. Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. It seems like you're saying that, with you all saying that, it's as if that's what he yearned for. He loved being around family.
Love family.
Wow. That's good, man. Yes, man. Ooh, wow. Okay, we got to move on. Okay, so now the one lesson I learned from my father is that a man is only as good as his word. And that is something that I've always strived to live by, right? Yeah. What was one of your memorable lessons that you would say that you learned from your father?
It would be, let me think. Honestly, I mean, he would have like different times where he would talk to me, right? And what would be so significant about our talks is like, because even if I don't ask him for advice, he still find a way to give me advice. So every time, we would talk and stuff like that, he would be like, Papa, you ain't never got to worry. You ain't got to worry about nothing because I never had to worry about anything. But in any situation, if I worried about anything, he'll tell me, Papa, you ain't got to worry because I got you. And sure enough, I never, me, my mom, my sister, my big brother, never had to worry about anything. And that's a word that he kept until the day that he left this earth. I guarantee it. I guarantee that.
Wow, man.
And you talk about a man of his word. If he say he gonna do it,
right?
Even if he got $15 in his pocket, he gonna get all that of you. But that's just who he was.
He lived by his. He
Lived.
made sure he had a good name.
Yep.
Same
Lived
as
by
my father.
everything that
Same
he
as my
said,
father.
he meant what he said, and yep. Yes, sir.
Wow, man, I'm paused because that would touch me, man.
Yep.
That would really touch me.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow, wow, man. So you learn no matter what. You don't worry about anything.
No.
You don't give attention to it. That's the lesson you learn.
And then honestly, like life does hit us. You get what I'm saying? And there are gonna be times when we do worry. But I feel as now what I'm learning is if I spend too much time worrying, it's gonna affect me. It's really gonna affect me if I don't hurry up and deal with it. If I'm always worrying, it's not me as a person. I can't do that. That's just not who I am. I can't just stay worried. I gotta be like, you know what, God, you're gonna do it, and I know who my dad was. Even if he did worry, he gonna find a way to keep going.
And so when you have those moments, do you think of your father?
Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do.
Those memories and what those conversations that you had with him.
Absolutely.
Man, that's deep, man. That's deep. So, okay, so my next question is this. So when my parents moved back to Miami, that was one of the most happiest moments of my life, right? And the reason being because it really gave me an opportunity to really love on my parents the way that I had wanted to and I desired to as a son.
Yeah.
Right. So then what happened is that after, almost a year after my parents had been back, then bam, I think it was May 6th of 2022. My pops ended up going in the hospital.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
Sir.
And of course, 13 days later, he would not come out. He transitioned, from this side of life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So can you share with the audience, if you see fit,
of course,
right? What was your experience like from the time you knew that your father was sick and that he had to go in the hospital? What was that like for you?
Definitely, and I can't even be honest. I could be honest with you and say that I have found the strength today since you asked me that. And now that I think about it, I know that I have the strength to talk about it. But honestly, honestly to me, it was a struggle. Don't get me wrong. It was a struggle to see my dad like that. But and within that time, there was such it was almost like we went through whatever that was, but it was also like a comfort, like almost like God was comforting us, but then allowing him to be in the right spirit and not allowing him to change who he was as a person. Because you like when you get into those into that predicament of your life, it's like, wow, my body's not acting well with me. You get what I'm saying? But even when we was in the hospital, he'll say something funny and we laughing, and then in my head I'm like, why are we laughing? You get what I'm saying? This is a tough time. You get what I'm saying? And then at in that time I was so in denial because I'm thinking that, all right, my daddy's finna be here. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
My daddy ain't leaving him.
Right.
But then I just had to come to the terms. But honestly, it really did catch me off guard, and it was a tough time. But I can honestly say that I don't know if I would have made it without God being in my life, in that predicament, in the situation with everything that went down. I'm sorry. And even with my family, if I didn't have my family, my mom, my sister, and other, that's what kept me, God and family. So it was most definitely struggling, but we depended on God, and he sure enough, he got us through it, and he's still getting us through it because it doesn't go away. You just learn how to deal with it.
I'm glad you said that. One of the things that, again, I'm telling you, when I was like thinking over these questions, right?
Yes, sir.
I was saying, I'm like, man, these two guys can be like two peas in a pod, man,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're so similar in a
Mm.
lot of ways,
Yes, sir.
And I know, remember, reflected back with my father, he was singing, he was laughing, he was doing the same thing, making jokes, until he got to the place where he just couldn't no more.
Yeah,
But what I loved about there's a chapter in my book that talks about 13 days.
Yeah.
And even though my father was not uh, 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 he couldn't communicate, right? Man, I saw so much faith coming from him,
Come on.
right?
Yeah.
And even when I went to see your father, I saw the same thing, man. No matter what, he knew his mind was made up. He already knew. It was like he was at a place of peace and comfort. It was, but it was, man. But to hear what you say, that you knew for a fact that it was God that got you and your family through.
Yes, sir.
That's what you felt that you
Yes.
really contribute a lot to. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's good. That's good. That's good. Your mom says that love that son, it doesn't go away. You just learn to work with it. That is true.
Absolutely.
That's true. And I can attest to it. I'm going to share something with y'all
of course.
in a minute. Listen, I want to appreciate all of you, who are watching again, whether or not you're watching by Facebook or YouTube. You could go to my YouTube channel, fathersnote.com on YouTube, or add a Father's Note on YouTube, and you can watch the show there as well. And even if you're watching, if you're not there and it's your first time on the platform, can I encourage you to go ahead and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and support our YouTube channel there, so we can get algorithms going there as well. Leave a comment. We certainly would appreciate. Share, like, and all that other kind of stuff. Y'all know what to do, right? Okay, so let's move on. We almost done. All right, so while my pop was in the hospital, right?
Yes, sir.
As I stated, he was non-responsive, and that's when, as I pointed out, I became aware of the level of faith that he has, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And as your father was passing through his moment of sickness, what were you able to glean from that?
Today, I would say, in tough times, it could be going so bad, but if we focus on the bad instead of focus on the good that is to come, it won't be good. Like, we won't have enough faith in order to push through whatever it is that we're going through. And that's exactly what I learned, is to push through, even though it may look like things are not ever going to go good.
Right.
That was what I got out of that.
I agree.
Because there was a greater glory out of that. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
God gained an awesome man of God.
And when you talk about love, at his homegoing service, man, that place was packed. Well, it had what 1,200 or more.
A lot of people.
They were there to show their love for him and his family.
Yeah.
Man, it was a beautiful homegoing service, man. Y'all did a absolute fantastic, wonderful job. Mr. Jones says that God gives us strength as we cling to his word, where there is true comfort and peace that surpasses all understanding.
Amen.
That's true. That's true, man. Man, I love where your head is at, man.
Yes, sir.
Especially as a young man.
Yes, sir.
Because there's no doubt, man, you had a really solid relationship with your father. Put that next picture up, if you don't mind, please. Yes, that's the man. How old were you on this picture?
That was my birthday, and that was my birthday. That's so crazy. But that was my birthday. We went out, and I was 23. I turned 23. No, 24. Sorry.
24.
Yes, sir.
So it wasn't long after that picture then.
Yeah, it wasn't long after.
That he took sick.
Yeah, it was like he started having problems like in the fall, like after that summer.
Right.
Like in the fall. That's when it started.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to the next picture. Let's show you. I think the next one. Yep, that's your parents. Yeah, that's your parents. Man, that listen, let me tell you something about this, right? One of the things that I knew for a fact,
Yeah.
when your father married my sister, because
Yeah.
I was very protective, man. I was I'm very protective
I
about my
love
family.
trust me, yo, I love
But one of the things that I am so grateful for
yeah.
is that when he married my sister,
Mm.
I never had to worry about nothing. Never. Never. I never had to hunt him down. Never had to never had to say, look at bro, hey, you better treat me. No, I ain't had to do none of that,
Yep,
man.
yep.
He handled his business as a husband, man.
Yes,
He
yes,
handled his business.
yes.
Show the next slide there, please. Yes, that's mom
Sis.
and your sis. Yeah, yeah. I thought I had one with you and Josh, man. I guess I don't. That's the last one. But anyway, I should have showed your brother, but your oldest brother.
Yes.
But nevertheless, um, my sister say that picture was at my book signing.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, my wife said he loved him some Chrissy. You better say it. You better say it, man. Man, he'll move heaven and earth.
I'm trying to tell you, ain't nothing you wouldn't do.
Yes. Okay. So on the day of my father's transition, right? I'm telling you, man, that was one of the most surreal experiences that I ever had. Right. And knowing that I would never be able to have a conversation with him again. And, I was by his side
Yeah.
as they was preparing to remove his body out of the room. And I was standing there, man, and my mom had a cassette player
Yeah.
uh, playing of his music,
Wow.
him singing and playing his guitar.
Wow.
And I'm there and I'm like just having flashback moments.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And just reliving a lot of things through my mind and my time and my experience with it. And for me,
yes.
I just wish that I had been a better son
Yes.
in a lot of years,
Yeah.
and really had that that solid relationship.
Yeah, of course.
But I would like to know what was going through your mind the night that your father transitioned. How was you feeling, man? I mean, if you care to just share.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But like I always say, and I try to be as transparent as I can, because at the end of the day, if we're not transparent, we're lying to ourselves. You get what I'm saying?
That's true.
But one thing I can say, I I didn't know what to think, honestly. It was at that moment, everything was just unreal. It wasn't real. I felt like it wasn't real at all. It most definitely felt like a dream, because this was someone that I always spent time with, and we always stayed up late night
Mhm.
and we're talking and stuff like that. But it was most definitely a moment that was unreal. And even like in the last few moments of his transition, I was still in denial. Like I still had like faith, you get what I'm saying? But then when it got to the last, with him transitioning and peacefully as he did, that was when I came to terms. That's when everything hit me, and it hit me hard. I can't even lie to you. It hit me hard.
How did you cope with it?
What's so crazy is me knowing what my father uprooted in me, and I can't help but to talk about what was enrooted in me, because that's just what it was, and he enrooted God in us. Everything he couldn't say a sentence without God being in it. So for me, in that time, I was literally listening to Christian music. If I was in my room, I was still as hard as it was, and it was hard. I was still trying to read my little scriptures, still listening to music, still trying to pray. And although it was, because that whole week, those like, well, the whole month it was busy, but I was still trying to keep going. So honestly, it was just stand in God as best as I can. and it wasn't easy, but I tried my hardest.
You know, when things like that happen, people, and I'm sure they mean good,
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
but people come, you all right?
Mm,
I can do anything, you know, and they want to be in your
yes sir,
space.
yes sir.
How did that make you feel?
Um,
Did you want people
mhm.
to be around you, or there were times that you just felt you just needed
I don't
time for yourself?
I don't think in a predicament like that, if somebody else was to lose their mom, I think they would feel the same way. Like, I don't want to talk right now. Da, 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 da. But even when that did happen, I tried my best to be like, hey, I don't want to be bothered or anything like that. I just try to be polite because that's who I am. I'm not a
No,
mean person. You get what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
even if it did get to that point where I didn't want to talk, I feel like they should have understood. But even if they didn't, I mean, it's nothing I can do about how a
Did
person
you have a
feels.
lot of that? Did you
Yeah, a lot
those
of people
moments?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. How did you and your mother and your
Mhm,
sister,
mhm.
how did y'all cope with it? What did y'all do? I'm sure
Um,
y'all really got a lot closer, right?
yes, oh man, yeah, we got close. We got close. But how did we cope with it? I don't I feel as if it was just like any other, like, it was like a regular family thing. Everything that we did, it was always together. Yes, we had our at different times where where all of us are feeling the same emotions and stuff like that. But I feel like we never let that get the best of how we dealt with it together. I feel like everything the situation, we dealt with it together. We coded with it together. If I have something to get off my chest, I'll talk to my sister. Sister, that's my best friend. Go to my mom for wisdom. I love my mom.
Yeah,
But
right. Of
yeah,
course, we know you do, man.
that's yeah, man.
Wow, wow. I was going to ask you a question, but uh, let me ask you this last question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, for me, my way of coping with my father's death was for me to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it seems like that's where you're at.
Mm, mm.
You don't mind talking about it,
Don't know. I don't know.
right? Um, Yet, to be honest, though,
Mm.
it wasn't until this year that I realized, because Pop's transitioned, I think, in 22,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until this year. I think it was the time this year, or latter part of last. No, I think it was this year that I realized that I had never mourned
Mm,
about my
wow.
father.
Wow.
I had never mourned for him,
Wow.
and it wasn't, and I didn't realize that until it was one day that I was moving some clothes
Mm,
um, out of our closet because we was getting ready to do some remodeling in the closet.
yeah.
And when I was moving the
Mm,
clothes, right, my eyes caught attention of my father's house coat
wow.
that was hanging there in the closet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And man, that thing broke me, man. That thing broke me. It broke me so much.
Mm,
And man, I'm telling you, man, I just bust out.
wow.
And I cried, bro.
Wow.
I cried. That's when I realized I had never mourned him,
Wow.
right?
Yes.
And so I just my wife was there. I told her, get the coat, move it out, move it out,
Yes.
move it
Yes.
out, get it out. I
Yes.
didn't want to see it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the thing of it is the reason that the coat is so significant is because that was the jacket he had on when he went to the hospital. And for him not to come out, and I'm like, I'm faulting myself because I took him.
Yes, sir.
But I'm trying to look out for him, trying to look out for my mom. And It was tough, man.
Yes, sir.
What has it been like for you?
Um, I can most definitely compare because this is it's very new and it's still new. Because yesterday I was talking to my mom and we was riding in the car and I was saying, "Mom, like he's really going." You get what I'm saying? And it just seems and it still seem unreal, but it's his clothes, his would be in the house, and some of his stuff is still in the house to this day. And um there were plenty of moments where I just broke down. You get what I'm saying? I may have never told anyone with it, but I broke down. It was even a predicament where I was literally in denial, and I didn't even know that I was in denial about the passing of my father, about the grief that I was feeling. Until I went to my mom and I love my mom. I don't know. I love that lady. But I went to my mom, I got advice from my mom, and I found out that I was being in denial and I couldn't move on until I dealt with that. And now I'm still dealing with it, but it helped me. It helped
Right,
me for
right,
me not to be in denial because many times we hold all that stuff inside and it caused us to be mean. It caused different things to happen. You get what I'm saying? And
right.
it doesn't go right. So I I'm still dealing with it, but I've had plenty of moments where I broke down and cried, and I talked to God, and I just be like, God, like, wow, you get what I'm saying? Someone I've spent so much time with, and I love so much. So absolutely,
For me, it was, man. My head running wild right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
man.
it's all right. Trust me.
But for me, what I realized is that I was trying to be so strong
Yeah, yeah.
for everybody else.
Oh, come on.
Making sure my mom is okay.
Yes,
Here
yes,
it is. She's been with him for 70 years now. She's by
yes,
herself,
yes.
and be there for my
Yeah,
sisters.
yeah, yeah.
Be strong. I think about them, and but it didn't hit me
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until, and I'm talking about 3 years later.
Yes, yes.
This year would be 3 years. It didn't hit me until now.
Wow.
So I think though, with what you're saying, and I'm
Mhm.
sure the same with you. You try to be there for mom,
Of
be there
course.
for your sis, your
Yes, sir.
family.
Yes, sir.
Especially being in the place where you're at.
Yes, sir.
It. I realize though that we can say we good,
But that's a lie.
but a lot of times we not.
Mm.
A lot of times we not. And especially in my place,
Yes, sir.
the enemy will play you with that spirit of guilt.
Yes, he will. Yes, he
You
will.
know, um, man, it was tough, man. And but anyway, so that's why I wrote this book. I realized how much my father was really there for me.
Yes, sir.
And even though we spent a lot of years at one another, I'm grateful that um, I'm grateful that the latter part of our years, my time with them, man, that God really restored our relationship, and I got that chance, man, to really
Wow.
spend that time with them.
Wow.
Um, my wife, this with the one with mom, Kiani, yeah, that one, yeah. She says, Kiani, you're sharing some. You got to move the cursor, sweetie. Yeah. Kiana, you're sharing some powerful nuggets that I know is helpful, helping a lot of people. God bless you, nephew. I know your father is smiling down on you.
I love you, Auntie.
He says he loves you.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Yeah, yeah. So I think though, just to wrap this up, we're gonna wrap this up because we gotta get out of here. I'm gonna let you get out of here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
I think well, go ahead and put that one up. Let's see. Amen, son. This is mom. Grief tends to be silent and a way of reacting will process through life.
Yeah.
It is true. It is true. You know, but I mean, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I thought I was good, nephew. I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
thought I was fine. You know, at times I would,
Yeah.
you know, I think about him, you know, I get a little teary eyed, but man, that thing really
Really,
rocked
yes.
me, man.
I
I'm like,
understand.
man, I was, bro, man. I think I
understand.
had crocodile tears. That I was so moved by it, man. But anyway,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think though we need to be honest with
Yes. Yes,
ourselves.
we do. Yes, we
You
do.
know, be transparent,
Yeah.
like you made that point.
Yes, sir.
Don't be afraid to talk about it.
No.
You know, share how you feel. Like you
Yes.
said, you know, you talk with your sister, you talk with your mom,
Yes.
you fought for reasons.
Yes.
So, and I think overall, I think to the audience overall, in order to deal with when you're dealing with grief like this here, or the loss of a loved one, especially your father, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey man, just be open about it.
Open.
Just be open. Just be open about it. And it's okay, you know. So, and I want to point this out. You're looking at two different age differences here, you know. And I think next month will be a year for your
Yes.
father, right?
Yes. Yes, it will.
That he's been transitioned, and then in May will be 3 years for us. Yo, we're gonna get out of here. But hey, man, thank you so much, nephew, for coming, man. And I pray that you really help somebody. If again, you got anything you want to add?
Honestly, I could, you know, as young as I am. I mean, if I could give anybody advice, just be this, like same as you said, just be open. And most importantly, we can't do anything without God, and we most definitely can't do nothing about ourselves. And I feel like we put all the weight on us when we're only one person. We need our family and we need God. And
Wow.
we can't make it in life without God.
Wow, that's good, man. That's good. Hey, people, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, nephew, for coming, man. Taking the time out to come.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're going to get out of here right now. Certainly, again, thank all of you for your comments, for your watching, and we certainly appreciate it. And hey, we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we might have a nice surprise for you. Yeah, I got somebody in mind I'm trying to get on the show. Let me see if I can get him on the show. Sit in that seat over there. Hey, everybody, we love you. Thank you again for watching The Father's Note. Hey, please again, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share this with some other people, please. Right? You know, we just normal people here, just trying to do a good thing. We'll be very transparent and honest with everybody with what we do. We love you again. So hey, again, listen, tune in next week, same time, same channel, right? Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We do go live on YouTube at 7 p.m. We love you. Talk to you next week.